Hello, I'm Frank Caruso, producer of Oregon Life, and welcome to a brand new episode. If you missed the musical Big Fish at the Oregon High School, you missed a Broadway quality show. And I want to thank the director, Mike Ducett, and of course all the other participants. But Mike gave us behind the scenes tour days before the show. So I was excited to go back, meet the people that put this show together. And like I said, a quality Broadway show here in Oregon. So in the future, when they produce a show, go and see it and support the kids and theater and musicals. I'd also want to thank again our sponsor, Torhorst Insurance, who has been there for OCA Media and Oregon Life. We really appreciate your contribution, and it helps to produce episodes just like this one, behind the scenes of Big Fish on Oregon Life.
This week on Oregon Life, a look behind the scenes at Big Fish, the musical. So here in the Oregon Theater program, we really pride ourselves on a very student-first approach. And so from behind the scenes to on stage to in the musician orchestra pit, you're going to find students in every aspect of the production. In fact, our orchestra pit this year, I think, is about 97% student, which is a real rarity when it comes to high school musical theater these days. A lot of schools, due to budget cuts and other demands, have moved to music that is pre-recorded, and we still pride ourselves on having a live orchestra and using our students to fulfill those roles for us. We have student light designers, sound designers. We have students who work and help build the very set that we stand on. We have kids that run the backstage crew, helping move the different set pieces. So really, students get a lot of on-the-job training, and so to speak, for these kind of careers in the fine arts. And I think it's a really wonderful opportunity for everyone to get involved. And in fact, you know, I always joke about the musical as if even if you don't think you can sing a tune, we will always give you the bucket to put that in when it comes to this show and when it comes to any show in Oregon, because we want you to be involved. This is Will Younger. He's a member of our Orchestra Pit this year, and Will has spent the previous 2 years for the musical program actually on stage. So Will, I'm here to kind of talk to you about your perspective about now playing in the pit and what you've learned on that side of the theater instead of here on the stage.
Okay. Well, it's a little bit different. There's different things that you have to learn, like vamping for dialogue. I've had that done many times before when I was on stage, like just talking through my lines and then having to figure out like that with the pit and like getting that balance between the two and not having it go on too long to where it's just dun, 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 like the whole time, like just one vamp, and watching Miss Kabish. And I've worked with Miss Kabish in a few different classes besides pit orchestra, so that's been super fun. But getting a refresher on my sight reading and reading sheet music as opposed to singing it and playing it on an actual instrument has been pretty fun to work out again. But other than that, yeah, it's a different experience, and I think it's one, if you haven't tried it out before, I'd wanted to try being in the pit playing live music for the musical. And since I'm a junior, I've still got time to be on stage again. I thought it would be a good opportunity to try something different.
And you're playing the pit in guitar. And other way around, you're playing the guitar in the pit, right?
Yes, playing the guitar in the pit, which is an instrument I've worked on a little bit here and there. It's it was good to have a background in reading music before picking up guitar and then doing pit, because if I'd never read music before being in the pit, I think it would have been a much steeper task to accomplish. But
yeah, well, you're doing a great job. I'd always welcome you back on stage too, but it's great to have you involved any way possible.
Thank you.
I'm here with the Big Fish stage manager, Julia Reitmeyer. And Julia, can you tell us what you do here at the musical?
So I'm up in the booth, and I use my headset and call the show. So
What do you mean by call the show?
I call the projections. So whenever there's a new projection that has to show up on the screen, I tell them when to basically press the button for when to go to make sure it's on time. And, you know, if anything else, like stage pieces or anything is like, you know, not on time, it's good to like sometimes have a reminder too for that.
And what do you think is the most challenging aspect of being a stage manager?
I mean, I think probably just sometimes the stress, making sure that like I have everything under control and yeah, being on time for all the cues.
It's important to have a great stage manager as they really keep everything on stage flowing, and Julia's been doing it now for 2 years,
Yeah, 2 years.
and I hope to keep having her until you're done with graduation. So thanks, Julia.
Thank you.
I'd like to introduce you to a great colleague and a dear friend of mine, Marsha Hoyer. And Marsha, you are the choreographer of this show, Big Fish. So can you explain what your role is and how you bring the magic to the stage?
So as choreographer, I work with the director and we decide together which songs will need more than simple blocking and movement on the stage. So this show has so many different kinds of dance numbers. We have a tap number, we have a stomp number, we have kind of a capeography, which is super fun with the witches. Just so many different styles and jazz, and it's really fun to be able to use the stage and see how to use dance to tell a story.
And what do you think is the most challenging aspect of the dance for these kids that we have in this show?
So every show has its different challenges, and I would say for Big Fish, part of it is just the different styles. That we're moving from different kinds of choreography in every single number. And the great thing about this is we only have one number that has everybody, and then we get to specialize and really showcase kids in different styles. So for the students themselves, there's all different levels. There are some students that really know how to dance or have taken a lot of dance classes, and then there are many students that this is literally the only time that they've ever tried this. So it's really fun and challenging to be able to find choreography that can work at all levels.
And how long would you say it typically takes students to learn the dance numbers, to really learn them and to perfect them?
Well, we've been rehearsing since the week before winter break, so it can take a while. I've been choreographing it long enough to kind of recognize how long it should take, but usually I would say, each number that you're going to see in the show, we're talking 10, 15, 20 hours before we get to really drilling it after that. There's a lot of hours that have gone into this show.
Yeah, there's a big commitment on the part of these kids as they join the cast. What would you say would be something that you're particularly proud of in this show in terms of the choreography?
Ooh. I'm always proud of how confident the kids can be when they're performing, because again, when you start from kind of scratch and you have all the different levels and the kids that are struggling through and they keep on practicing and they take your notes and they really run with them, by the time we get to opening, I love when obviously things go really well and it's perfect, but also I love when I can't even tell that they screwed up, right? They come to me saying, oh my gosh, did you see this? And I'm like, no, because your face didn't show it. You were confident the entire time.
Yeah, it is quite a growth process, and one that we both get to witness year after year, and it makes it really, really enjoyable. So thanks for telling us about what you do.
Thank you.
So here we have some members of our stage crew. As you can see, we have one of our beautiful stage pieces out here on the floor. And can you tell us about your jobs and responsibility as part of the stage crew and also one of our assistant stage managers here? So can you tell us what's challenging about your job? What have you learned about it? What do you like about it?
Okay, so we push the bed in here, and it's there in place right now. And the hardest thing I would say is just making sure that it's right and that it goes smoothly in, because that has been a challenge for a few days by now. But yeah.
Okay, what about you?
I would say the hardest part is just getting it over some of the wires in the back, making sure it gets over very smoothly and on time.
Right. And if you all are doing your job well, right, no one notices. Right, no one notices, but as soon as we're not doing the job well, somebody notices. So, McKenna, tell us about kind of your experiences as the assistant stage manager.
So I'm backstage telling people when to move the actual props on. So I just am telling these two that they need to move the bed on, or that another piece of set needs to come on. So I feel like the most difficult part is definitely when two set pieces need to come on at the same time, just making sure that they come on at the same time and that it looks good.
Yeah, you help to coordinate the timing of all the pieces that come on, and really good delegation skills. Always a good skill to have post-theater life as well. Thanks, ladies. Yeah. So another one of the elements of the production that's really super important for us to have here at Oregon Theater is microphones, so that the singers and the actors can be heard over the orchestra as they play their music. So right here we have Willem, and Willem's one of the lead characters of the story here. And we have a member of our mic crew here using that wonderful surgical tape that sticks to the skin to attach that microphone. And Willem, what's it like to wear a microphone?
It's kind of weird at first because you have to like be aware of the mic pack at all times, and especially because like it's this big bulky thing, and if you're falling around a lot on stage, like jumping around, it gets scary sometimes when I feel like it's about to fall out. But
And
hard to notice.
as an actor myself, it seems like it's nearly impossible to get the tape residue off of the back of your neck after so many performances. What is your trick for getting that tape residue off?
Taking a shower every night.
Oh, you're supposed to shower every night. That's the trick. Okay, well, that's what I'm missing, I guess. So, all right, thank you. Here we have Bo Jacobs playing the character of William Bloom in the story, and he's getting his microphone on as well. Now, Bo, you're not a stranger to the theater, are you?
Nope, I am not.
Now, how many shows have you done now as a young actor yourself?
Around 20 or higher.
And your age is?
I am 15.
Right, so Bo is really averaging more than one show a year here, and you've performed professionally too, is that correct?
Yeah. I have performed at the Fireside twice. I played Ralphie in A Christmas Story and Friedrich in The Sound of Music.
And when we get involved here in Tech Week, what do you think is one of the most fun aspects of putting a show together during Tech Week?
The lighting. The lighting, I feel like, changes the whole show. It makes you in character better and just more engaged overall.
All right, what are you most looking forward to as we get this show on the road?
To do both acts combined. I'm excited to do the whole show and just see how it feels. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so as you can see here, we have a lot of members of the cast getting their microphones on, and it's pretty amazing to think that in this show we are running 33 microphones at the same time, which is an incredible task to manage, but our students and our tech director, Mr. Mendl, make that a really seamless opportunity. So let's talk to some more members of our crew here. Where do you decide to put the tape and the mic? What do you think is the best advice?
It depends, I guess, on if the actor has like sideburns, because it will hurt more if you put the tape directly on their hair, but usually you want to put it at least a finger length away from the actual microphone so that it doesn't tape it into their skin and you get better sound. And other than that, there's not really anything to it other than what side the actor wants their microphone on.
And you mentioned a hotter sound. What does that mean for people that may not know what that means? Better sound. So you mean the quality of the microphone and the way it picks up the voice. All right. This young man getting his microphone right now is Calvin. Calvin, do you want to talk about your role in this show?
Oh, yeah. I'm playing Amos Calloway. He's like the leader of the circus, and Edward comes to work for him, so Amos will tell him about Sandra, the girl he likes. And like over the years, he gives him clues about her until he kind of just tells her who he is.
And this is going to air after the show, so we can do a couple of spoilers. Do you want to also tell Amos's big secret?
Oh yeah, Amos is a wolf, and like a werewolf, and that's kind of like the moment where Edward finds that out. He chooses to tell him who Sandra is. And like after Edward tells him it's okay to be a werewolf, it's very embarrassing to play a werewolf too. So that's like a challenge, I guess.
Please elaborate more on that.
So I have to wear furry claws, furry ears, and as I learned of last rehearsal, a nose. And I get frequently made fun of by the rest of the cast about that, so.
That's okay. You did a good job at it, though. Thanks. So, all right. So as we walk in, this is what we call the green room. Now, in theater talk, the green room is where the actors hang out during the show and before and after. It's where they kind of begin to get ready. So we have some young folks over here starting to get ready. Let me introduce you all to Sydney. Hi, Sydney.
Hi.
You want to tell the audience at home what you are doing right now?
I'm doing my makeup.
And what kind of makeup do you have to do for this show? Explain your process.
Well, this is honestly, it's pretty different than what I usually do, but I usually wear a lot more intense makeup than this, mostly around the eyes. But foundation, concealer, heavy blush around the cheeks, a little bit on the forehead so I look like a living, breathing human and not a ghost. I'm doing a little bit of brown and little slightly sparkly eyeshadow just for funsies, and then just some subtle eyeliner so it looks like I have eyes. And then I'm going to do some darker lipstick just for the witch stuff, which is right after our opening song. And I just curled my hair, and that'll be put in a bun and then brushed out later for other things.
Now, Sid, you play multiple roles in this show, too. Do you want to explain what it's like to have so many different character types to play?
It's fun just like getting out of a bunch of different costumes because it's like playing dress up kind of, but a little bit more intense. And then it's also just kind of it's kind of difficult in like thinking about like, okay, how is this character moving through this space now? Because a person in a circus is a lot different than a witch. And so you just got to, like, you have to make sure that you're playing two completely different people in each scene as opposed to, just going through the motions to actually, like, sell whatever you're doing, really.
And you do such a wonderful job of that. We also have Michaela Hammond over here. Hi, Michaela. What's happening to you right now?
The lovely Finley is curling my hair because I am not very good at it, but I was doing my makeup.
And do you want to speak about what roles you play in this show?
I play a cheerleader and then a cowboy/western townsfolk, and I start off in our big opening number as a cowboy. So I'll be, I think I'll be tying my hair into pigtails, but I also need to curl it for the high pony of a cheerleader. Yeah.
And Michaela, you're a senior, correct? Mm-hmm. So kind of looking back on your years here at OHS and the musical, what are some of your favorite aspects or memories you have?
I love Tech Week, and I was saying that this morning. My mom was like, "Are you sure? You seem like you're trying to convince yourself." But I really do, and I love seeing everything come together. And the Tech Week dinners are just delicious. I think 10 out of 10 for real. But I love to see the show come together, and I love getting to hang out with all the people that I just love so dearly for an entire week.
Right, and now, Finley, they've mentioned this thing called Tech Week. Do you want to go ahead and explain what that is?
Yeah, so Tech Week is basically we're here from like 4 to usually 8 o'clock, and we just run through the whole show until whenever we get done, and we get notes to be corrected, and we have dinner between. We're good. And yeah, that's it for a day.
Secret to theater is keeping the actors happy and well-fed. Thank you. So do you want to talk about the secrets and tricks about putting on your eye makeup for this show?
Well, what I usually do is I try and do eyeshadow and then like the harsh eyeliner afterwards, and then mascara, because mascara kind of covers up your mistakes on like your eyelashes and stuff.
Right. Now, why do we have to accentuate the eyes so much in theater? Why do you think that's important?
It's important because you have to accentuate the eyes, otherwise you can't really see them. Like if you're far away and you can't see the stage as well, same with like lips and stuff. If you have like a bright kind of vibrant color, it's so you can see the lips and that they're actually there and like the person actually has life,
And Sarah, what are you looking most forward to this week?
Just the community and like how we all put the show together basically, and like the opening night and the feeling of relief of all the hard work that you put into the show for all of Tech Week, and how it's just a really fun week overall,
Good. Despite the long hours and the work, it's a lot of fun, right? Well, thanks for talking with us. Now, as we stated before, the live orchestra is a huge part of the experience here at Oregon High School. And this is where our orchestra students generally gather to get out their instruments and begin to warm up and put things together. So we're going to interview some of you guys, if that's okay. All right, so you want to describe what this instrument you have in your hand is and how long you've been playing in the pit?
Yeah, this is a baritone saxophone. It's one of the lowest saxophones, and I've been playing in the pit this is my first year, and we've been doing it for about 2 months now.
And what has the rehearsals been like for you up to this point?
They've been pretty fun overall. I think that they've really helped me grow a lot, and yeah, they've been pretty fun.
Right. Musical theater is not always the easiest music to play now, is it?
No, it's a pretty big challenge for me specifically, I think.
Well, good. Always good to challenge yourself. Hi, Lily. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Do you want to explain why you're wearing an American flag costume?
So I am in the Red, White, and True number as a tap dancer, but in Be the Hero, it's my chosen costume by the directors to showcase what character I am playing in the show and what's an important one that is important to showcase in the opening scene.
And you play lots of characters, right? Do you want to just say each character you play?
I am a witch. I am a circus. I'm a Siamese twin. I'm a tap dancer in Red, White, and True, and a cowgirl in Showdown.
Yeah, quite a versatile actor here. And what's your favorite one to play?
Probably the circus one because it's just me and Leo Ochensky. We're just kind of giving attitude the whole time, and it's really fun to play that on stage and bring it up.
All right, now as we're coming into the back hallway of the music wing, here's just kind of the hub of where things happen back here. Let's talk to this young man, Weston Johnson, over here. Weston, can you explain to viewers at home what all of this stuff is?
So this is all the props for the show. So each one is sectioned into its scene for, this is for Red, White, and True, so that's where the tappers and the Army's going to be, and then that one's for the circus. So we got it all sectioned where we can all find it pretty easily for the show.
And can you also remind, what is the cardinal rule? What's the primary rule about a prop in the show?
Don't touch other people's props. You can only touch your own.
Right, hands off other people's props. What do you think? Do you think this show has a lot of props, a medium amount? What do you think?
Well, this is my first musical, so I don't know that much about props for other shows, but I'd say there's a good amount, which it just brings the show to life. So it's a good amount.
All right, thanks, Weston. Here we have our lead female role. We want to talk about your role and what you do in this show.
Hi, I'm Erica Brisky. I'm a junior. I'm Sandra Bloom. Sandra Bloom is Will's mom and Edward's husband. And my role is basically kind of trying to connect both of the people in my family. I'm trying to build that relationship between my husband and my son. And yeah, I just try to connect them better and kind of the mother figure. And yeah.
You're kind of the conflict resolution in this story, right? Always in the middle between father and son. Erica, how long have you been performing?
For about a little over 10 years now, I think. Yeah, started in kindergarten, second grade, something like that. Young, yeah.
So a lot of talent on stage, beautiful voice. What's your favorite number in the show?
Oh boy, probably Red, White, and True, just because of how many people are performing on stage, and also it kind of brings back my skills as a tap dancer, which I used to do when I was younger, and then I quit. So it's kind of fun to bring that back. But also, yeah, the costumes in that are really fun too.
You heard it here, a triple threat. She can sing, she can act, she can dance. All right, I'm here with Carson. Now, Carson, you have a cello, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
And how long have you been playing in the pit here at Oregon?
This is my third year in the pit.
Okay. And what is one of your favorite aspects of being down there?
Definitely the community that forms, because you're stuck in this pretty small space for 2 weeks, not to mention the months that go on beforehand. So you really start to grow a bond with everyone in the pit, and it's really nice to see that come together as the production moves forward.
Now, as a string instrumentalist, what are your first thoughts when you think about music theater, especially modern music theater for string instruments?
Things have never changed. These are written by people who maybe know some piano, so they don't really know how to write for strings. And this will probably always be the case.
Right. So it's not quite the easiest, is it?
Usually, no. This year it's not that bad, but Adam's Family especially was pretty nightmarish.
All right, thank you. All right, so we're going to head down into that orchestra pit so you can understand what the viewpoint is for a musician in the program. And we'll stop here and we'll talk to one of our percussionists, Simon. Hi, Simon. Do you want to talk about what your role is here in the pit orchestra and what it's like to play down here and under these conditions?
Down in the pit orchestra is really fun. It's a really chill, most of the time, chill environment. I mostly play sound effects and all these interesting instruments that I love to play. It's really interesting to work with the actors because it's a whole different kind of music to play. Instead of normal concert music, you instead get to work with other people and work with different groups like tech or with the actors.
Great. And how long have you been playing in the pit here in Oregon?
I've been playing this year, and I played last year the same instrument.
Now, when the show's going, do you get to watch the show at all, or are you completely concentrated on the show the whole time?
I am mostly concentrated on my music, except for some specific spots focused on timing with sound effects.
So not exactly the best seats in the house down here, is it?
Not really.
No. We'll continue to talk to some other members of the pit here. In fact, as I was saying, we have a 97% student pit, but here we have one of our faculty members from the Oregon Middle School joining us. So it's really nice to have faculty with our students as well, kind of modeling these professional behaviors. So Ms. Sider, do you want to kind of talk about your role down here?
Sure. I'm playing Reed 1, flute, alto flute, oboe, and English horn. I'm sharing a book with Lyra, who's playing the rest of the instruments, saxophone and clarinet.
And this year in the pit, it's particularly dangerous down here for you this year. Do you want to explain why it's a little bit more dangerous for you?
Yeah, I don't know if you can focus down here on this target on the floor. It says aim here. Daffodils are being tossed down. We're like a grave. So we're actually hoping it lands inside the bass clarinet at some point.
So one of the many hazards of playing the pit is intentionally throwing things in the pit at them, but we're kind about it. And here we have our brass section back here. How are you folks doing?
Great.
Do you want to talk about what it's like playing in the brass down here in the pit, and how long you've been doing this, and kind of what are your thoughts?
Well, it's my first year doing it. It's been great. It's an experience because it's very different from your band music, your pet band music type thing. Being able to balance with these guys is always a challenge, and the rest of the band, because we tend to be a lot louder than them, so we have to tone it back sometimes or bring our part out. But it's an experience, and I'm having a lot of fun. What do you guys got?
And we got a French horn over here, is that correct?
Yeah.
And you want to talk about your instrument and how it differs maybe from these other trumpets over here?
Well, I guess my sound is like more mellow than like the other brass instruments, and one thing is that my bell is like pointing right at the wall, so I have to play a little bit louder, especially since the microphone's like right there. And my instrument has a lot more tubing than the trumpet.
Well, that's great.
Next on Oregon Life, a Lego story.